Hey guys, I know I look different. I cut my hair, I cut my locks off. A lot has happened, a lot has changed. I have some videos that I may put out or I may not put out. I was trying to put out the video of me cutting my locks off and switching to a pixie cut, but I don't know if I'm gonna post that before I post this. So I'm just gonna, this is me now. Still working for a shop, but this is my new suite. It was black originally and painted it to white because I don't know how people do all black suites. Like I just personally I couldn't have done it. But anyway, so I want to talk to you guys about some mistakes I've made, like in my business or just in life, period, and just like where I'm at right now. And so God has done so much for me, for starters, and even though I just received some bad news, I am going to trust that everything is going to be okay and trust in God, um, because that's all I can do. And He has come through for me so many times before in the past, and I just gotta believe that He's gonna come through for me again. So some mistakes I made in my business. A big mistake that I made in my business is I moved around a lot. I was doing amazing. Like my numbers was great, my clientele was great. I had a good rotation of clientele coming in. I had a good rotation of new people coming in, referrals and everything like that. I had all that going for me. What I didn't realize is that people were traveling from all over, but I guess that side of town is easier to travel to. So I had that on that side of town, but because I'm from New York, I'm used to just like, okay, wherever it's at, that's where I'm gonna go. But not everybody has that mentality in Georgia. And so when I moved from one side of town to the next, I've lost clientele. So I would say one of the biggest regrets or biggest mistakes I made in my business is just moving, just picking up and moving. Like one day I was here, next day I was somewhere else. And it wasn't like, my lease was ending and I had a good opportunity to get like a bigger apartment, a nicer apartment too on the other side of town with a better school system, and I just picked up and left. But that side of town is more south, and so a lot of people that was further up north, they don't want to travel south, whereas traveling kind of east was easier for them. So I lost clientele when I did that. Another big mistake in my business is that I have not been consistent. I just haven't been consistent, even on YouTube. Like, I was lucky enough to get monetized within my first year being on YouTube. And I'm monetized all now, and I still get checks from YouTube. It's not big, but it's still a check. And I just don't post enough. I'm just not consistent in my content. And it's not that I don't know how to or I can't. It's just that I just don't prioritize being consistent in my content. Now, also, that is a product of my environment because just as a single mom, working for myself and stuff like that, and the ups and downs of business, sometimes emotionally, I don't do what I have to do when it comes down to content. But and I gotta stop that because content plays a big factor in me getting customers. So it's like, one hand feeds the other, and I'm just not producing, not doing what I'm supposed to do. So yeah. Third thing I would say is that moving, this is again kind of moving around a lot, but like jumping from salon suite to home to salon suite to home to salon suite, like that's also bad. And then also I changed sides of town. Like I went from the east to the south to LA to back to the south. So it's just like wherever I'm growing right now that's where I'm going to stay. So that was a big jump, like, because basically your home clients, the clients that come see you from home, they'll follow you anywhere. But your clients that you grow from the salon suite, they typically want you to be they want to be in a certain type of environment, and it doesn't matter how nice you make your home, because I converted my whole garage. But it doesn't matter how nice you make that, if once they hear home, that's it, they just over it, they don't want to come. They're like, oh, well, just let me know when you're back in the salon. So then you lose that customer. So I would say that is another regret, is bouncing around. I wish I would have been a little bit more consistent or stable in my business as well. Um, what's another big regret? And this is just me thinking off the top of my head, because I said I was gonna post, and I'm trying to get back consistent with posting. And I gotta. Oh, my other big regret that I made this year or in my business is that I did not really follow my dreams. Like, I kept quitting. Like, this whole year, I spent a lot of time just trying to quit, trying to run away, saying everything was too hard, and trying to leave it alone. But then, also on the flip side, realizing that the whole reason we got into entrepreneurship is because we need flexibility with time. Just being a single mom who has 2 kids that needs, like, a lot more attention. My daughter goes to the hospital occasionally, for different little problems. She has sickle cell. So whenever she has a fever, it's like a big thing. So that's a thing. Or just like the time they get out of school, like just being able to pick them up and drop them off and things of that nature. And I just have more flexibility to be there when I'm an entrepreneur, rather than whatever your schedule is at work, that's where you have to be. Even when when I quit earlier this year, and I walked away from business and I went to work a job, it was like from 8 to 5, which my kids was in school till 6:30, but it was so far away that like the earliest I could drop them off was 7:05. And so by the time I hit that Atlanta traffic, I'm not getting to work at 8 o'clock when I was supposed to. So, and they were very strict about that. It didn't matter that my kids' school had that rule. They wanted what they wanted. And then on top of that, leaving to go home in the Atlanta traffic, then I'm getting to my kids' daycare late, and I gotta pay $50 every time I pick them up late. So it wasn't, and they charged that just, after you're late, like, cause it's 2 kids. So anyway, it's not really big. I think it's like 25, but it's 2 of them, But anyway, so that's another big regret. I stay focused on my goal and letting other people influence my decision, because I just see, like, I'm surrounded by people that work jobs, so everybody around me advice is always going to be work a job, work a job, work a job. But I've just invested so much of my time, of my heart, of my energy into being a hairstylist that I have no choice. I gotta make this work, And I'm happy here. I'm happy being able to freely speak to my customers and do their hair and spend time with them and make them feel they look pretty. So yeah, I'm happy doing that. So I want to do that some more. All right, so next. What is a big regret for this year? Oh, a regret. This is not only this year, this is just in general. I did not look at my business. I realized that this whole time I haven't been treating my business like a business. I've been treating it like a side hustle. When you treat your business like a business, you're going to have a savings account. You're going to have a structure to when you're pulling out your money, and you're going to be focusing on how to build more revenue. And when you are slow in losing customers, you don't just quit and jump to the next thing. That's what, this is a business. Business is going to have slow and high points or whatever. And when you are slow, even like if I was really if I was really treating this like a business, I would more so be prepared. Like, I would know when is my slow times, so that when I have a peak time, like, okay, November, December should be a peak time, I should be holding it for the slow time, which is going to be up until about when people get their tax returns. Okay, so that's something that you got to pay attention to. Now, that's just a typical slow time. I think every hairstylist feels like the end of the year is a peak time, and the month after, like January, is a slow time. but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. But whatever slow times are in your business, because you know, if you do pixie cuts, or if you do wigs or locks, those are different turnaround times. My regret is that I have not been tracking my business profits and the stats the way that I was supposed to, and really be treating this like a business instead of treating it like a side hustle, you know? Like, you know, the first time around, I'm not even gonna lie to y'all, I did do, you know, post on my Instagram and all this other stuff, but first time around, it was just so easy. Like, and I know that a lot of stylists feel like right now is a slow time for us, but first time around was just so easy. This time around, I feel like I actually have to work for it, like work for my customers. And when I was working for that short period of time at that, I was working for like this law firm. I was doing collections, and when I was working there, and we didn't have like calls coming into us, we called out to them, and because we were slow, and you know they're paying us to be there, and so that was something that kind of registered to me, like, oh, just because people aren't writing you doesn't mean that it's not your time to write them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how you keep a business going. You have to reach out. You have to market and put it out there and get in contact with folks, you know? Anyway, so that was like a revelation for me. Another regret I have in my business is that I had a predominantly lock-based business. Like, I only did one type of hair, which I know everywhere is telling you like niche down, niche down, niche down. However, I regret it because I got bored only doing locks. I'm having a lot more fun now that I'm doing braids and quick weaves, and even my hair with the pixie cut and quick weave pixie cuts and stuff like that. I find it to be a little bit more challenging because I haven't been doing it in a while, and it intrigues me because I still do a great job, but it's just new. Like, I feel like with locks I can pretty much do everything they ask me for. And I was just like, how boring is that? But yeah, so I regret limiting myself to just one thing, because now, even like 5 years later, my hair is different, and I want to do something different. And I'm basically, like, when people are coming in right now for new clients, they're coming in for locks for the most part. I had a quick weave the other day from a completely new client, but you know, it's gonna take a little minute for those to start trickling in. So yeah, let's see. Regret will be sharing my vision with the wrong people. That's another regret, because not necessarily they're the wrong people because of them, but they're just the wrong people because they can't relate to the experience. And yeah, so you know, people tend to only give advice based off of their experience or based off of their knowledge of what they know. And it's definitely time to make some new friends, y'all. Let's see, what's the regret? This year I regret relying on others, and I would say, like, or expecting things from others, because like like I said, talking about my business to people that really cannot understand what it's like to be an entrepreneur. Relying on others or expecting things from others just in a relationship sense. Like, I am now in a place where I'm realizing that I have strayed away from my connection with God, and I want to strengthen that. And like, cause for me, it's always been me and God, and like, that's the best relationship that I could ever have, even stronger and better than family. Like, my relationship with God, when I was on the other side of town, I felt like I was all by myself over there. And I realized that I was getting back to a place where I did not make my own decisions. I talked my decisions out with everybody, and made a decision off of what the group consensus was. And I did that a couple of years ago before I was successful in my business. I was doing that a couple of years ago where I couldn't decide on a white shirt versus a black shirt without calling and asking what shirt should I wear. And one day my sister got like frustrated with me. She's like, "Oh, you call me for everything basically, like blah 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 blah," and hung up. And I was like crippled, like I was like having a whole anxiety attack because I could not make a decision. She's like, "I understand calling me to ask me for something, not for something, but asking me an important question, like." I can't even think of an important question, but something like your outfit. You can't leave the house without choosing a black or white shirt. Just pick one and go. And listen, like I said, when she did that or whatever, and she hung up, like I said, I was like having this anxiety attack. Like I could not decide. Like I could not make my own decisions. I didn't realize how bad it got. Like versus life decisions versus down to a t-shirt to wear. And anyway, so I realized that I kind of got back to that in my life decisions or in my relationship decisions. I got back to the habit of talking to different people and hearing what other people had to say and then implementing that instead of making my own decisions and deciding what's right for me. And so, but basically, a couple years ago when she did that, and I started to have like this panic attack and like cry, and I was just like, "God, what's wrong with me? Why can't I make a decision? Like I can't think for myself," because I didn't trust myself. And once I had that moment, I made that decision in that moment, after talking to God and having that moment, that I needed to not call anybody to ask them anything. I'm going to figure it out and decide and pray and connect, and rely on myself and God. And that was it. And when I did that, I was successful in my business. I was successful in life. But I realize now that I, like mentally or as far as decisions go, I just feel cloudy. Like I feel like I just need direction. Like I really need to connect back with God because I just feel like I'm just all over the place, and this year has just been all over the place for me. So yeah, and me being all over the place, my business has been all over the place, and it's getting better now. But like I said, it's just it's getting better because now I'm starting to receive clarification, and realizing that I need to connect back with God and connect back with just trusting myself, trusting Him, and praying, and having that time where I journal in the morning, journal at night, affirmations in the morning, affirmations at night, getting back clear-minded so that I can make better decisions for my life and for my business and for, everything that is attached to me, like my kids and things like that. So I am going to go back to, if it's not here, you guys will be on basically like it's gonna be here, and then here. If it's shared, it'll be shared with you guys. It won't be shared with anybody else until once it's implemented, because I don't need anybody else's opinion with what's going on. I just gotta figure it out. I just gotta get things done. I'm realizing even if I do, matter of fact, if I do share it, or if I do say anything, I'm gonna take everybody else's word for a grain of salt. I'm just not gonna tell nobody. I don't need nobody influencing my mind. Like I gotta keep my bubble. I gotta protect myself right now and get back to what I gotta do. But anyway, y'all, it is time to pick up my babies. I love having this conversation with you guys. I'm definitely going to be using YouTube as my outlet, and I think I'm gonna post this video as is. I don't think I'm gonna edit, to be honest with you, because I feel like editing be slowing me down. Y'all might just have to hear me stumble through a few words. But anyway, if you're feeling like how I'm feeling, let me know in the comments below. Let me know some mistakes that you made this year, and maybe my next video will be how I plan on rectifying my mistakes, if I didn't really share that in this video. But anyway, you guys, I love y'all. I love talking to y'all. This is like the best part of YouTube, is when I post videos and like my actual thoughts and opinions, and you guys respond, and we have conversations in the comments, or I could just, even if I just read it, even if I just read what you guys are saying, and yeah, just knowing that there's other people out there that thinks the same or was appreciative of what I had to say or whatever. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for clicking on this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.